Hi everyone, this is Larubi Claudia. My name is Runo. So welcome to another interesting tutorial. So today we'll be illustrating this cold shoulder halter neck with front keyhole. Okay, so before I proceed, please, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel. You can check us on Facebook. We have a community, Larubi Claudias, and also on Instagram, Larubi Claudias. Okay, so I actually drafted the bodies behind the camera. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so now my neckline for the front is 3 by 3, while that of the back is 3 by 1, the normal basic neckline. And then I went ahead, I imputed my dart, and then I added zip allowance to the back. So I just did this. It's a your normal basic bodies. Okay, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy these tutorials. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Right, thank you. I will be working with this now. So what I'll do now is to come down on my neckline, on my underbust, right? So I'll mark my underbust. So my shoulder to underbust, the shoulder to underbust for this illustration is this tutorial is 13.5. okay, so this is my 13.5. all right, so I'll just mark this. You know what I have here? I have 2.5, so I need a straight line. So now I want to tighten the underbust, what we also called contouring, so it will have fitting under, right? Okay, so now this is what I have. So shoulder to bust point 10. Okay, from here, this is 1 to 8, so I'll just mark 1 to 8 here. Mark 1 to 8 here. So this is also, so this will be my bust point, and then this will be my under bust, while this is my waist. Okay, all right, so now I will mark my nipple to nipple for this tutorial is 4. So now you can see already this is 4. So I'll just mark this way. Okay, fine. So now I want to contour this under bust here. So now what I will just be doing now is to mark my, so I will be coming in here now because I'm working with bust 36, right? So I'll be doing 1.5 here, so 0.5 here. Okay, so now connecting from my underbust, so this 1.5 here, I need it to be very curvy. 1.5 starting from here. Okay, so right, so now I will be from my bust point. Now I will connect to my armhole. You know, I'll be using an armhole princess bust here. Okay, so but before that, now remember it's a cold shoulder sleeve. So now where I would like to determine where I want my cold shoulder sleeve to begin from. Okay, so now from my shoulder slope here, I'll mark, this is 4 inches, and then this is 4.5. So I think 4.5 is okay with me, so I will just have this here. So I can just decide to come in some more just to make it deeper. This will be 15 sleeve here. I'm just reshaping, right? Anyway, so this is what we have here. Okay, so now my sleeve will be here, will begin from here to this part. So now alright, so now I want to create another dart here, maybe dart of 0.5. So I'll just begin from here. Okay, So this now the essence of this is just to help to control, so you don't have this part all gaping out, right? So this is what I have now. You can see. So this is now because I've gone ahead to cut my pattern out already. Now remember, I will drop the link to my other videos where I did princess dart bustier and other type of bustiers. Okay, so now you see what I have here. What I did here now, I'm going to replace it back on my measurement. So what I have from here to here, I'll replace it back, and then this one here, I'll have to replace it back here. Okay, so that I'll have my measurement intact before adding seam allowance. But I won't be doing that here because there's no space here. I already cut out my allowance. Okay, fine. So now we want to determine. Now remember, it has a keyhole neckline. Now so from this point here, now going by this, if you look at the sample that we have here, now the keyhole is quite big. It's even exposing the bust line here. The bust, it came and then it's almost revealing the whole a part of the bust. But now I won't be doing that. But if you want to, so now this is where I have 3 inch, so I'll be doing 1.5. So now this part also, the way, if you want it very wide, is still your choice. So it depends on how wide you want it to be. So now this is like 2 inches. Remember, whatever you do to this point is going to affect the other points, right? So I'll just connect here like this. Okay, so now you wouldn't want it this sharp, so you can just use your hand, or you now on my shoulder line here, I'll come down, let's say 2.5, or okay, let me do 1.5. Okay, so now I'll connect 1.5 and then connect it to my bust line here, to this part here. Can you see? Now done. Now this part here, this part will be going out. So now I'm stopping here because our sleeve will be attached from here to here. Okay, I don't know if it's that clear. So I'll be cutting this part out. This part will be going out, and then I'll attach this part here. Before I forget, please don't forget that when you are extending this part, always remember to add 1 inch, right? Then connect it back, so that when joining, you have your excess can be replaced back. Okay, when you have excess, it's going to rhyme, and then if there's excess, you can always trim it out. So now this will be all. So you can see my coat shoulder. What I did, like I said, I came down 1.5 inches here. Come here. Okay, let me start from here. This is 518. So I'll place my 518 here, and then I'll continue measuring. This is my 518. I'll continue measuring. So this is what, 8.5. Can you see? I stopped at 8.5. So my whole neck now, aside from the shoulder, my back and front is 8.5. So now 8.5, you fold it into 2. So what do I have? 17.5. So my round neck is 17. So round neck is 17.5. Now you need this to get your turtleneck, right? You'll be needing your turtleneck to you'll be needing this for your turtleneck measurement. Now if I decide to open like this, okay, and I measure round, I'll get the same thing. So whichever way you want to do it, remember I close my seam allowance. Once I measure, I will get the same thing. Fine. So now I'll keep this aside now first, and then I want to repeat this now on my armhole now. Now remember, from here to here for the front, from my shoulder slope to my armhole is 4.5. So I'll come down here, I'll mark 4.5. okay, so this is my 4.5. so now, and then on this part now I came down 1.5. so on my shoulder now I'll be coming down 1.5 as well. So I'll just is 4, that's my nipple to nipple, divide by 2, then I'll create 1 inch dart here, and then this is my bodice line. And this is my, so I'll come down my bodice line 1 inch to get my dart leg. So I hope you understand. Now if you want this measurement to appear behind, you use your tracing line. Same thing here. So now remember my round measurement now, round neck is 15 to 17.5. So now what I'll be doing now is I'll cut the neck out. Can you see? So this is what we have. This is the back, and then this is the front. Okay. Remember my measurement. What I'm replacing back here. I'll replace about 2 inches, so I can write 2 inches, and then this part is 0.5 inches. So I don't forget while cutting. This is before you add your normal allowance, please. So this is how it's going to be. Okay, so now let me keep this aside and then go ahead to draft the sleeve. Now for your sleeve, now you know the sleeve is a cold shoulder sleeve, it's not your normal round sleeve. Okay, so now I'll be using this pattern paper here. So I'll just determine my sleeve. So my sleeve, if it's to start from here, the cold shoulder is to start, remember I took out 4 inches from 4.5. so from my measurement, if my sleeve is my length, long sleeve is 23. So now remember I took out 4 from my shoulder to my shoulder slope. Let me just bring it down and then explain further with this. Remember from my shoulder I took out 4 inches. If you remember, I took out 4.5 to get this part here. So remember, so this one that I took out, I have to take it out here because my sleeve is starting from somewhere, they're not from my shoulder slope. Okay, so now I'll take out 4 inches, so 4.5 rather. So if my sleeve is 23, so I'll take out 4. If my sleeve is 20, let me say my long sleeve is 22. Okay, so from my 22, this is 22, and then I'll take out my 4.5, right? So this is 22, and then this is 4.5. Okay, so I'll just draw a straight line. Now this will be my starting point, right? Now I want to get the cap height now. Now I will measure the length of my, from this shoulder, this part that my sleeve will begin from to where my sleeve is going to end, 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches. So from here, look at it, see the way I do this now, from here to here. So this 3 inches, I can just decide to add half, make it 3.5, but 3 inches is fine. So this is my 3 inches, or I'll do it 3.5 if I decide to come down on the armhole again. So I will just mark 3.5 here, and then I'll mark another 3.5. Right? Okay. So this is what we have now. Now my round arm. So let me bring it down this way. You can see this part here. This round arm here is about 11. Then if it's fitted, it's 10.5. So you can see it's 10.5. So from this 10.5 now, I'll take out 1 inch from this 10.5. When I take out 1 inch, I'll have 9.5. So 9.5, I'll divide it into 2. I have 4.123456468. So now this part here will be 468. Okay, this will be 468, right? So now to get this part here, okay, so like I said, remember the way I got this my part. So my I want to get this part now, this my bust line. So what I will do is, remember the way I got my shoulder. If you watch my previous video, you discover that I have a formula I use in getting my armhole and my armhole circumference. There's a formula I use in getting it while drafting my normal body. So, and that formula is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So my bust, this one, so now my bust is 36 divided by 6 will give me 6, right? 6 plus 1.5 give me 7.5. So that was how I got my armhole circumference. So let me just show you again. Remember I took out 4.5. Remember I took out 4.5 from our shoulder here. So this is my, can you see, this is the 4.5. You can see 7.5. So that 7.5 is what I will be putting down here. Remember this is without your seam allowance here. So I'll just connect from here to this part. Okay, so this is what I have now. Okay, so now my elbow, shoulder to elbow, so I'm still taking out, going by my 4.5, shoulder to elbow is 13. So this is 13, and then this is my wrist measurement. So now on this part now I can decide to do this. Okay, so let me take this as my wrist measurement. So now my round elbow is 13. So 13 divided by 2 give me what? 6.5. So this is 6.5. So my wrist is 9. So 9 is what? 4.5. 9 divided by 2 goes what? 4.5. So you can just decide to come straight from here. Remember this is our measurement. Okay, this is our measurement. You can decide to come straight from here. Can you see? So this is our cold shoulder sleeve. Cold shoulder sleeve is the same formula with off shoulder sleeve, right? So now this is our sleeves. Remember, I've not added my seam allowance. Okay, so if you're adding seam allowance, now whatever seam allowance you are adding to your body, that's just the way I do my own seam allowance. Whatever I'm adding, if I'm adding 2 inches seam allowance, that's seam allowance on my bust line, I'll add seam allowance 2 inches here. Why? Because remember, if you are adjusting your bust, you have to adjust your sleeve as well. So if you are adjusting, maybe it's not fitted, you needed it bigger, you are adjusting it to a bigger size. Now if you have more seam allowance and you have less seam allowance, that dress is green, you won't be able to correct it because the sleeve won't fit in any longer. So that's why I always make it a point of duty to use same bust line measurements, seam allowance on my sleeve and on my bust line. So if I'll be adding 2 inches here, I'll be adding 2 here. Okay, so I can do here 1.5, and then I can do this place 1. So I'll just connect, right? So let me just do this so you can just see what I have. So this is my seam allowance, right? So now that's not all. Now the sleeve, if you look at it, it's not straight. Now cold shoulder, most times you have issues raising your hand like shouting hallelujah. It's not when you have it, especially when you have it closely fitted around here, right? So if you do it like that, you have it tight, you may have issues raising up your arm. But that's not the way this sleeve is right now. This is how it is. So on this part now, I'll come down 1 inch. You're not making it straight, so come down 1 inch, right? Go around after joining your sleeve, will go around here. Okay, so this is all we have, right? Round neckline 17.5. That's the circumference of our neckline when we join our shoulders together. So, and then when you divide it into two, so when you divide it into two, now you have 868. Okay, I'll need to fold it into two. Okay, so now here 868. So this is 868, right? So now I'll be marking 2 inches here. Okay, so this is my measure, this is my 2 inches width. That's for the band. And then this is what I have here. So now this is our center front, and then this is our side center back. Now for our zip allowance, now we added 1 inch for the zip allowance here, so we'll be adding 1 inch. That's if you want your zip to go over your band, which is the ideal thing to do anyway. So now this is what I have. So for my zip allowance, okay, right. Now I cannot decide to add seam allowance if you are cutting on fabric, but since I'm not cutting on fabric and I didn't add on our paper, so I won't be adding here. So now this is all our pattern pieces. So this is our sleeve, so this will go over this. This will go over this here, will go over your armhole, the remaining part of your armhole. So now for this band, now this is your center front, this is your zip allowance, and then zip allowance, right? So now that's why it's very, very important to measure your round neckline before altering it. It's very important. If you don't do that, you have issues fixing. Remember our neckline, now this is not your neckline, there's an extension here, there's 1.5 and then 1.5 at the back. Remember we took out 1.5 each from back and front, from our shoulder to our neckline, 1.5. So everything now is this. So when you want to see, this is my center front, so this is how you start fixing. So when you attach, when you get to this place now, once you get to this part of your, when you get to this part of the front, so there will be space in between. So, and then you come back, you attach to this part, and then end that. Remember we added zip allowance, so it will end at our zip allowance. Okay, so let me see if I can pin this. So okay, so you can see now this is my neck. So now remember I did 1.5 here, so this is my back. So I'll come down to my zip allowance here and then attach. And then come to my, this is my zip allowance, and then attach. You see, this is my zip. Okay, so I'll just pin and then pin to this part. Can you see? So this is what you have. Can you cut out 3 inches, 1.5 from this side? So that should sum up 3 inches. So if you measure, what you should have here, you can see is our 3 inches. Okay, so that is how it is. So you will just come here and then attach this to this. So at the end of the day, you have your turtleneck and then your body. So that will be all for this illustration.